together and they could watch TV in their little, little out room. But anyways, I guess he was fucking one of his cellmates, which they got caught. But the little fat kid ended up getting caught with a shank.
How do you know this? Wait, how do you know this?
Dude, you know everything in jail.
Oh, no.
Everybody talks about everything.
Oh, my God. Did you? Please tell me you didn't hear it. I would have had to say something. No. Listen, I'm saying something. Yo, stop fucking out there.
Do you know how big those pods are, dude?
No,
they're huge. It's like fucking,
you gotta,
like 50 pods or 50 cells in one unit, like, and they're all, they're all this big, the size of your living room. Each cell is about the size of your living room. 50 of them,
Well, listen,
top and bottom.
We're gonna finish these two, and then we're gonna get to. No, you're good. No, you're good. No, you're good, bro. Kyle, I appreciate that. Listen, you definitely one of those people I'm gonna have again on my shit. You got good stories. You got good stories. You and Will, I fuck with y'all. I'm glad Will came here. I'm glad I appreciate Will being on my. I appreciate you being on my podcast, bro. I know this. I know you didn't feel like doing it.
I just got a lot to say, but I mean, the topics changed rapidly. But Kyle, I got a question for you. Have you ever been to jail before?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about the whole time.
The whole time? Oh, okay.
No, Will, have you ever been to jail?
No, I think I'm the only one.
Yeah, Will, have you ever been to jail?
Oh, no.
Have you ever been to jail?
I have been handcuffed in New York City for drinking a 40 ounce on the Metro.
Wow.
Wait,
I have been.
Out of everybody, you know how many people do that fucking shit?
I know, I got profiled.
Okay, wait, real quick. I'm gonna say there's a joke. Have you ever seen the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the 90s?
In the 90s?
Yeah.
No.
Well, it was a good movie. You should watch it. But
Maximum 4 in the 90s.
No, but Raphael's like rolls over from a taxi, and the guy's like, "The hell was that? Looks like a turtle wearing a cape." You going to you still going to some? You say you're still going to somewhere? Like he's still like shit. Listen, the bottom line is the weirdest shit happens in New York City. You see naked people running in New York City. Nobody gives a fuck.
That was me.
I've only been in New York City
once. Amber, have you ever been arrested?
But yes, I've been to jail.
But I've gotten pulled over with my boyfriend.
All of my shit's been underage. Drinking.
Listen, I'm not going to talk about some other shit, but I'm going to say real quick. I'm going to say some shit, and this is fucked up because Bethlehem did this for me. And does anybody know who Officer Slurs is?
Of course, the big fat angry dude in Bethlehem?
So one night I was just walking at night.
He's a legend.
Walking at night, and he's like, "Oh, aren't you on curfew, Shanti?" And I was like, I was, but then they changed it because usually when you go on curfew, you have to sign and shit, and you have to talk to your ROS office, RUS officers, release under supervision officer, and then she was like, "Oh, you don't have a curfew," but then they're like, "Oh, you have a curfew. Let me search you and stuff." And I was like, "I'll just go home," and they're like, "Get the fuck out of here and shit." I'm like, I was only 16, dude. Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys this. I get this weird feeling, and Amber, you're gonna notice if we ever get pulled over, if you're driving, I shake. Because I don't know what to do. Like it's a lot of shit in my mind. Like I gotta fight or flight, like shit. Like because I'm not. I will be damned if I ever become like. Well, would you start some shit if like I ended up one of those people like getting shot by the police illegally? Like,
yeah, man, we start the movement.
Alright, so I get the same way. Like I'm nervous as hell. Like every cop asks me, "Well, why are you so nervous?" Like they always think I'm like even when I'm doing nothing wrong, I get so fucking nervous. And that's why, like, I kind of feel a certain way when, people say that it's only black people that get, screwed over by the cops. Because I've definitely experienced it every single time I have an encounter with the police that, they are no friend to me either. I feel
but you don't get racially profiled, and that's a real ass fucking thing.
I mean, when you come from where I come from,
I have. Even from the
that's real.
Even from the people in school.
That's real.
Well, even like where I come from, there are no real, there are no black people.
I mean, that's fine, but that's a real thing, man.
I didn't.
Did you get one?
I'm not afraid when I talk to the police because I know that I'm okay and that I'll be fine and that I can talk to them. They're not going to racially profile me. They're not going to be aggressive immediately. It's a completely different level of fucking.
I'm not disagreeing that it doesn't happen. But where I came from, it's like there was no black people to racially profile. So it was like any kid that they found. It was like I'm screwing you over for no reason.
Wait, let me tell you some shit. So. Will, tell me. You guys tell me if this is justified. I was chilling. I met a girl on Tinder, and I was chilling with her, and we went to McDonald's, and I was in Saratoga. Now, that was my first mistake. Saratoga, you guys know about Saratoga, right? Serotonin. No, you don't want to get pulled over in Saratoga. They gonna do something. And so that was my first. No, they said I was at McDonald's. Even though I ordered food, there was clear evidence that I had food. We bought like 2 bags worth of food because we were sitting there watching Power in my car while we were eating the food and smoking. So they're like, "Oh, you're trespassing here." They said you've been here for too long. So, and they're like, "Oh, we smell marijuana in the car." Thank God I didn't bring all my bud with me. I only brought a little bit, and I smoked all of that bud. They tried to search me. They were like, "Oh, well, what's this?" We see tobacco in the bag. We know you smoke something. I was like, that doesn't prove anything. And I was like, when was the last time you smoked? I was like, 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. Now, the white girl that was with me, she literally was like, "Oh no, listen, like if anything happens, listen, I'll tell you anything. Like I just don't want to be in trouble." And they're like, "Well, if we find anything, everybody's getting in trouble until somebody tells me something." And she was like, "Oh, you better not have anything, Ashanti." And I was like, "What do you?" She's like, "Don't you?" She's like, "I don't know. What if you have like cocaine or anything?" And I'm like, so first of all, that was my first mistake, and I really upset me because a white girl literally just like I met and liked me enough to meet me on a website and then hang out with me, thought I was a drug dealer because I smoked weed, and I told her I sold weed, and then she was like, "Oh, she asked me, she was like, "Do you sell anything else?" I was like, "No, I strictly smoke weed. I love weed so much that I feel like I should be able to sell it without getting in trouble." So they searched my whole car. I was working at Pepsi at the time. They took all of my equipment from Pepsi, threw it out of the car, kept my lights on to the point where my battery burnt out, and took and then they tried to say, "Wait, what's this pill right here?" A fucking Tic Tac. A fucking Tic Tac.
Laced with LSD.
They're looking at me. It's literally 60 degrees out. It's the fall. It's like dropping down almost to 50. So I'm like, they're like, "Why are you shaking? Why are you nervous?" I'm like, they're like, "You look like you're about to run. Do I need to put handcuffs on you?" And so they let the girl go home. She drives home. Mind you, so technically, if you're searching the car and you got 2 people detained, you got to keep those 2 people detained. Am I correct? They can't just let one person go until they resolve it. And they didn't. They stepped there for a whole hour. Now they realize I don't have anything on me, and I'm like, "Okay, I can't start my car. Can you guys jump my battery? I have the wires and shit." They're like, "Oh, we don't. That's not our job." No. I want to ask you. No. So now I'm going to say that slower for the people that don't. For all the Trump supporters that don't understand this. That is not their job. Now, cops are there to what?
Serve and protect. Yep.
I've literally had cops and I'm not saying all cops are bad, and I'm just gonna say that because I've met a cop that said, "Oh, like when I used to work at Golub, I used to go to Cumbies all the time. He knew I smoked weed. He didn't do anything to me because I was a nice kid." And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna go. I gotta meet up with this. I gotta get this girl, this lady. She locked her keys in her car. I gotta help her take it out." This dude has better things to do in his whole time, and he's gonna go all the way halfway across the fucking Schenectady just to help a girl get her keys out of her car. But a cop from fucking Saratoga can't jump my battery for a second. Now, remind you, I'm not asking him to fucking give me a whole new battery. Jump my battery so I can get fucking home. I had to wait another hour. I didn't get home until 2 a.m. I had to go to work at 6 a.m. So, I'm just saying, I get where everybody's coming from. Like, "Oh, cops don't just judge, like, blah, blah, blah." No, it's true. Like,
no, they definitely do. They definitely racial profile. I've just, experienced it sometimes where it's not only, black people. Cops are just dicks to be dicks. It's just the power trip that they get. They'll fuck anybody over just to make themselves feel better. And that's why back to what I said before, it's definitely, you need a more psychological test, for these police officers because, what they say is true. Most of these police officers are the kids who got bullied in school that are just trying to take out their anger and aggression on whoever the fuck they can come by,
Yo, do you know what, statistically, and I'm just like, I make jokes about it, but it's real. Like, and a lot of the memes I post, I make jokes. You notice I post memes that make jokes, but they're real life shit, a lot of them. Some of them are bullshit, but a lot of them are real life shit. Like, I'm like, oh, well, a Trump supporter, like a woman will be like, oh, Trump, da da da. Well, if your husband beats you in private, just say so. A lot of these men a lot of these cops beat their wives in private, and you know why? Because what are you gonna say?
Get away with it, and their fucking wives, they can't do anything because they're afraid to even go to anybody because the only cops they're gonna talk to are their fucking their husband's best friend, Yep.
So we're gonna end that, because
love you guys,
love y'all. I hope I can get anybody else on the podcast. Hope y'all have a good night.
I'll be back if you let me.
I hope everybody say yeah.
Yeah.
All right.